always on your skin. Doesn't mean he's in your
Alrighty.
heart.
Sorry, everybody.
Oh, you let him in.
Good morning. Good morning. I hope you're having a great Friday. I know I am. I won my day
Jake,
very
you've got
early.
some feedback.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes my phone does that. Let me know if this is any better. Is it gone?
It is gone, yes.
Okay. I feel like I'm getting some old school 3G stuff happening with my phone. Thanks for the heads up. I was saying, I hope you're having a great morning. I know I am. I won my day early this morning, which was nice, and came up with a nice little concept of having a Friday Monday, but I'll explain that next week as to my theory behind this. Sorry, I'm just going to mute a couple of people. Feel free to unmute yourself if you have something to say. It's just often there's a little background noise. Why is this? Okay. All right. Let's try this again. Good morning, everybody. I had a really good morning this morning. Obviously got to sleep in yesterday. And this morning I was up nice and early and able to get a little bit of work done and got a nice jog in. And, by the time I got to 9 o'clock, I ticked off all the 3 things on my list. And like I said, we're shortening that to-do list so that we can feel accomplished. And I did that this morning and I've been carrying that energy through with me all through the afternoon. Excuse me. And it's been great. I've had a fantastic day and setting up the weekend for a lovely progressive time with the family, which is really nice. And today I'm just really grateful for the ability to exercise and get out and enjoy the weather. Even though it was raining on my run this morning, I still really enjoyed it. And now the sun's come out for the weekend, so I appreciate some nice sun. And I'm very grateful for my little man's ability to sleep. We've got construction going next door, literally on our neighboring wall. And so we often hear the with the whole room shaking, and he just seems to sleep straight through. So we're very, very grateful for that. So please chuck into the group any gratitude you have today. It is Friday. I do like to recap a little bit of what we've been doing throughout the week. And this week has been a very good week, I believe. We spoke a little bit about our why and why it's important on Monday. And then on Tuesday, we talked about the 4 fears of trading and how kind of understanding our why can help us in these areas a little bit, and kind of getting to know ourselves. And I think we'll talk more about that as the weeks progress. And then on Wednesday and yesterday, we went through personal whys, and we had some great volunteers, and Kristine and Eryn, to help share their story and dig a little deeper and go through the 7 levels deep exercise with me, which was very helpful. And I think a lot of people took a lot away from that. I know I did, and I know I enjoyed doing the exercise. And today we will do the same thing again if Leah is still willing. I spoke to her throughout the week, and Leah, if you're on here, there you are. If you're keen to do that, we'll go through the exercise with you today. So for now, I'm just going to quickly flick through the chat and see some gratitude that's been popping up in the chat. Great to have gotten my butt up to do my workout. Nice. That's the spirit. Good morning. Good morning. I only thought about mine, but did a mental workout instead with some reading. There you go. Exercising the brain. Took great effort to get out of my nice warm bed. It's getting, I don't know about you, but being from Australia, I'm not used to cold mornings. And so these last few mornings, as it gets colder and colder, it gets a lot harder to get out of bed and motivate myself. But if we understand our why deep enough, we have a reason to get out and get up, and it makes it all that easier. I'm grateful for gratitude. It's uplifting and rewarding. I'm also grateful for increased patience and discipline with my trades this week. Well done. That's a huge thing. Discipline in trading is make or break. So good job. Should really be proud and celebrate those wins for the disciplined trading. I'm grateful for the chance to learn something new this weekend and spend some time with my dad. Awesome. Love family time. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, yes, please share with us any wins you may have had throughout the week or anything you've taken away from this week so far. I like to do a bit of a recap. So please share any of those wins that you've had, that you may have any perspective shifts or mindset shifts that you may have had while listening to other people's whys. Please feel free to share, get involved. Like I said, this is a growing community and we like to learn from each other. A little bit more quiet in the chat today. People may have had a big week, hey? Grateful for learning and mindset managing. And quiet weekend coming up. Yes, nice. I'm grateful for all the people who have reached out since our Wednesday night call, that we could have a positive impact on so many. That is awesome. Yeah, I heard it was pretty good. I heard lots of people taking away a lot of key points from that Wednesday call. So well done, you two. I'm grateful for the input, for all the great people in our trading community, learning so much. Brilliant. All right, Leah, I didn't actually speak to you yesterday. I was going to send you a message, but are you still keen to go through your why today?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry, I was going to message you and things just got away from me. So
That's okay.
perfect. Well, much like we did the last couple of days, I'm going to find a working pen so I can take my notes. Where did my pen? I just had it in my hand. I put it in my pocket. Put it in my pocket as I was playing with it. So I always fiddle, and I was fiddling in my pocket, and I left it there. All right. So just like we did yesterday, and the day before, why don't you give us a little bit of because I believe you said you think you understand your why a bit as well, don't you?
Well, it's like conflicting emotions. So like I feel like I do, but when anybody says like, what is your why? To try to narrow it down to like one thing always feels like, I don't know, like I have inadequate words or like I haven't defined it enough. And it actually creates some insecurity and anxiety because I'm like, I don't know. It's not
Fair
like
enough.
say their why is so big and that drives them and brings them tears. And I'm like, I don't know if I have that.
That's fair enough. And, to be honest, sometimes people don't have that as strong as others, but we can definitely see if we can work through it and find some level of meaning. And, if you do have conflicting ideas, maybe we might go around in circles a little bit, but we'll see if we can pull back some layers and dig a little deep and get down a few levels and see what we can come up with. How's that sound?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds
All
good.
right. So why don't we start with kind of, again, a little bit of your background, just 5 minutes or so, and then a little bit of this explanation of what you think your why or whys might be.
So I've been doing a lot of self-work in the last couple of years, and I had, similar to Eryn, a father who didn't see me, actually told me that I couldn't do things because I wasn't a boy. And then yet my sister was the apple of his eye. And then, all these kinds of things that I've been trying to figure out, like why am I a people pleaser? Why did I marry an abusive, narcissistic person and have like abuse for the last 20 years of my life? And like, what is it about me that tolerates those kinds of things from people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I find that
And
sometimes, yeah, go on.
sorry, no, go ahead.
I find sometimes that we do find ourselves like certain personality traits that just end up being in those same relationships. And actually relationships is a really big thing that I was going to talk about next week. So it's interesting that you bring this up here. So it's hard sometimes when we find that it just repeats itself, and sometimes that comes from an early age, but please continue. I really appreciate your honesty.
There's a coach who actually asked me that and said, like, if you actually look into yourself and choose things because you choose them, not just on default or because it's easy to say, like, what do you want to do? And go along with that. What is it inside of me that allows these kinds of patterns to repeat? Or, I don't think I'm seeking them out in people, but it's something about me that makes it easy for people who want to manipulate or want to control to find that with me. And then, I was a teenage mom. So I had a daughter when I was 17. And I think that like, I genuinely love people and I want to help people and I want to like share more love and spread more good in the world. And so a kindness was shown to me where when I was 17 and, you know, I went on welfare so I could finish high school because it was very, very important to me that I finish high school and not just get a GED, because that was kind of what everybody said, like, well, just get your GED, like just, right? Just be a just. When you don't feel like you've been valued or adequate in your life up until that point.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be another just, you know, so it was important to get a high school education. And I did that and I graduated with honors. And it was like, I didn't want to be a negative statistic, you know?
Yeah.
And so I set out to be stronger and to prove that I could. And I think it really resonated with me when Eryn said, like, she felt like she spent her life trying to prove that she was good enough. I think that's also something that I've spent a lot of time doing.
Yeah.
And so I think a little bit of that comes into it with trading too. I'm like, I know I'm smart, and anything that I've ever really attempted to do and like had real love and emotion behind it, I've surpassed so many things that everyone else would say wasn't possible or wasn't probable, or that, you know, I couldn't or shouldn't have been able to do that. And so maybe this is just one of those things, but the drive behind it is that, like, I want to be able to pay forward to other people. Like, I don't have a whole bunch of kids. I don't have grandkids yet. I love my family. My family's getting smaller. And, you know, so like, I just really want, like most people, I think, time freedom. I want to be able to be with my family because I value them so much. And I just recently left my job as well, which was like sort of the last narcissistic relationship left in my life. I was undervalued, underappreciated, and basically kind of allowed that behavior to continue because I wanted to be valued so much, and I wanted to be, you know, recognized for doing a good job and for, you know, going above and beyond and helping the company in ways that nobody else would. But I also learned that you teach people how to treat you. So when you're available 14 hours a day, they'll use you 14 hours a day. When you are available to them 7 days a week, they'll use you 7 days a week. And so it was never really modeled for me how to set good boundaries. And that's something that once I started to do that for myself, once I determined that, you know, trading was a priority for me and it was a goal and it was something I actually wanted to achieve for me, not for anyone else. Maybe that's part of where I'm conflicted, is that, you know, I've for so long kind of done everything for everyone else. And this is something that I'm trying to do for me, but like not from a place of selfishness, more from a place of like actually self-love and that I deserve it.
Yeah, from a place of pride and proving to yourself, you know, I deserve to have something great, achieve something impressive, and you know, something that you've worked so hard to get. So I totally understand that. And I really appreciate you sharing all that with us, because obviously it's a long, hard road, especially when you've come through abusive relationships and, you know, as you said, not kind of learning how to establish boundaries is really important for people. And if you haven't had that early, then unfortunately you can find that repeated behavior in other relationships like your work, etc. So it is a hard road, and I think that you've definitely unraveled a lot about why these traits have happened and where to go from here, which is great. But if we start down the path of, so what we're trying to do obviously is become successful at trading. And I heard you have a few whys in there. And one of them, I believe that was quite strong, was to have that time freedom to sort of pay it forward and help others, right?
Yeah.
So the time freedom is massive. That is one of the biggest things I think with trading. I think the two things that we come here for is financial freedom or time freedom. And when you've got financial freedom, it seems you've got a bit more time freedom as well. But in this instance, 1 hour trading gives you plenty of time left to do that. So if I was to ask you why you want the time freedom, like why would that be most important to you? I mean, you said that you want to pay it forward, but if you had complete time freedom, how do you think you would spend it? Like if you didn't even have to trade on the charts anymore, what would you sort of do with your time? Why would that be really important to you?
I think because I worry about my mom.
Okay.
And I want to be able to be with her. She's a cancer survivor. And just before COVID, we lost her mom, so my granny.
Yeah.
And basically, I think that's kind of when I first set a boundary with work. And I just said, you guys are going to have to figure it out because I'm going to be with her. And there's nothing you can do about it. So basically figure it out.
Yeah.
And so
Good.
I got to spend the next 4 weeks with her and help with her hospice and being surrounded by family, especially during that hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. You're completely fine.
It was so immensely valuable because even though it was such a hard time and it was so sad,
Mm-hmm.
it was so beautiful to connect with my mom and my sister and to be able to do that without like fear or responsibility or something pulling me away.
Yeah, that pure freedom, because often when we set these times up, it's it's not always unconditional. We have to do something because we need it for something, or we have to do something in a certain amount of time because we need to get back to something. So having that experience with your family, and I've been on the side of people who've suffered from cancer and seen the effects on families, so it can be very, very difficult. And it's my condolences to you and your family. It's never easy to go through something like that. But obviously, your mum being a survivor, good on her, and you're worried about her. And I believe that what really the next level of why that's important to you is just because of the quality of time that we get to spend with our family. Would I be wrong in saying that, time is short and the fear of losing family members haunts us all, or most of us, and that I think there would be a fear of not getting to spend enough quality time with her while she's still around? Would that be a fair thing to say in your situation?
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I left my job, I sold my home and I moved to Vancouver Island to be near her. And I'm 15 minutes away now, and it's really important to me. But I want to be able to continue on with that. And like you said, like that, I forget the words you used, but like there are no other obligations of me, that I could go at the drop of a hat or I can help her. And like the total freedom I think that trading can provide for long-term, profitable traders is there's nothing that matches it.
Yeah.
And it isn't because I just want to have all the free time in the world and do nothing. Like, and I love to spend time in nature, and I want to go hiking more, and I want to dive deeper into healing my heart and learning how to set good boundaries and learning how to, maybe mentor or inspire other women who've been through similar challenges as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really good way to look forward at things, because I think one of the things that I'm hearing most is that quality time, because, and the words I used was unconditional. And so when you're spending unconditional time with someone, it's not you're there for a reason. It's not I'm here to help you with something. And sometimes that does come along with family. That's fine, but it's not the reason that you're there. And so I think one thing I'm hearing from you is that the quality time with family is something that's really one of the most important from you. And I think you even went a little bit deeper as to why you want this time freedom, is to maybe help others allow themselves to have the quality time. Right. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even just to find healing, like to find whatever it is for them that is special for them.
Mm-hmm. And why do you think quality time with family is so important? I mean, obviously you went through the hard thing of losing your grandma. But is there anything else that you think stands out as to why quality time with family is really so important?
I think it's a really special thing to feel like you belong somewhere
Okay.
and to be valued for who you are. So I'm sorry I'm so emotional. It's hard
Don't
to
be.
listen to somebody crying.
No, this
But
is why we do this, because it is hard, and it's good that you can open up and be emotional here. So no apologies, be as open and as emotional as you need.
and I think I've really found that too with this community. So that's why it's so special to me, and probably why I've continued on as long as I have, even though I've had huge financial hardships as a result of my own rule breaking and my own, my own patterns of behavior. But it's so wonderful to dive into that. And so I don't really know where my why comes from, but I'm like driven to continue forward with it because I see how much potential and how much value it has.
Yeah, I think definitely there is a value in that, as you just said, the feeling of belonging and being valued. I think from someone in your background, from the history you've told us just on this call, it's that that community feeling that really helps drive people in this area, and that support, and that I think you've said it before, like finding a group of people like this who are all so keen to support and help you. And someone comes up and goes, oh yeah, I want to make $1 million by the end of the year. People go, yeah, cool, you can do that. Well, we're here to support you, rather than just laughing in your face, because here it is possible, right?
Yeah.
But I think getting back to your why, like the quality of time and finding time to heal yourself. And I think you're definitely stepping into that role of mentoring and trying to help and support others, which is great. But I think that that feeling of belonging and valued, which you discussed. So I think one of the things that maybe could be your driving why is to have that time to create a community then of people who can feel valued and belong in a place. And so, often when we think about our why, we think, okay, when I'm having a hard day, what is the thought that I'm going to have that gets me out of bed? I was just saying this morning, it's 4 a.m, it's getting colder, it's really hard to get out of bed. But if you've got a thought that can come to mind and get you out of bed, that's going to be a really driving factor of your why. And I mean, just from our discussion, it could be something of like, I need to succeed in this so that I can provide an environment and community for other women who are going through a similar thing, who can feel belonged and valued and grow. Because obviously people want to see success and leadership before they're willing to trust and I guess get involved, shall we say.
Yeah.
And so maybe your why could be kind of doing it for the people, doing it for yourself to prove that you can get there. And so that then you can provide the assistance and the leadership and the feeling of being valued that you never really feel like you got, especially earlier. And, kind of like a sanctum for people who have been in narcissistic relationships to come and have that positive input and like environment into their life to help with that healing process. Would that be fair to say, perhaps?
Yeah. And thank you for finding the words to put that so well, because I think you're right. Like, oh, I lost my train of thought what I was going to say,
That's
but
okay.
yeah.
I think often, and this is an unfortunate thing with a lot of people who have got really big hearts and care for people a lot, you will find passion and desire to do something more when it's for someone else than when it's for yourself. I know I've had this in my past where someone will tell me to do something, and if it's for me, I'll be like, yeah, okay. But if like someone's like, do it for your fiance, I'd be up, I'd run through a bloody glass fence and just do no matter what it took, right?
Yeah.
And it's sometimes we don't have the respect for ourselves to get off our ass and do the things that we need to do, but we find it in others. And whether you find it for doing it for yourself, which I think is amazing, and I think you're definitely on a journey of finding that, I think you've also got such a big heart to kind of lead people forward and find it for others, or at least not find it for others, but find it for a place, create a space that others can come and find it for themselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like carving a bit of a path so that people feel that they have a safe place to come to.
Exactly, kind of leading the way for people who have been through similar things, and like showing them that it is okay, that you are valued, that there is a community here, and that like, if you can pass your next challenge and show people that it's possible, then you're going to open the doors for maybe another bunch of mothers who had it hard and who were young to go, oh shit, she can do it. Maybe I can do it too. Maybe I can reach out to her and help her, ask for her help. And you being you, Leah, will probably help those people. So if you're not making, if you're not getting up on the hard days and picking yourself up when you've got, those blown accounts or whatever it is, and you're sitting at yourself going, why is this so difficult? You can go, right, I'm going to do this for the other women who are sitting behind the closed doors crying, going, how the fuck do I make a break? And I'm going to prove to them that it's possible. And I'm going to do it with a bloody big smile that you've got. And then other people can maybe, follow suit.
Oh, thank you, Jake. It's been powerful for me to share this as well.
No, thank you so much. It's not easy to share that depth of story and vulnerability, especially, in front of people in a sense of, over the air. But I really appreciate your openness and your honesty. And I think a lot of people can probably take away from this and share that story as well. So, usually I put these, I will check with you first. If you want to put it onto Spotify and share it that way, you can maybe share it to other people who have gone through similar struggles. It's entirely up to you. We can discuss that later. But I really want to thank you for sharing your openness and going through the exercise. And I hope we have cleared some of those layers. There may be more to dig deep on, depending on how you go. But I think hopefully we've narrowed it down a little bit and found some clarity for you.
Yeah, you've really helped me dig out some key points and definitely get more clarity. Thank you so much.
Perfect. I haven't even looked at the chat this whole time because I've been so engulfed in our conversation. So I'm just going to have a quick flick through that. We are coming up to the end of the time we've got here on this call. If there's anything else you want to add, Leah, go for it. Otherwise, I'm going to start flicking through these chats.
Actually, I will share one more thing because you said something about what gets you out of bed in the morning. And now it's part of habit and routine and something I love so much. But also my first alarm of the morning, it actually says words on it that says trade with my friends.
Oh, nice. That's a really good idea to have a worded alarm so you can read a positive message the first thing in the morning. I like that. I think that's a great, I try not to have my phone on me because I've got the little one and the missus next to me, but I think that's something I should start implementing into my day as well. It's a great idea. Thanks for sharing that. Right. Gratitude. Sorry for being late. Gratitude. Okay. Leah, I'm so sorry. No one deserves to be in an abusive relationship. Good for you for working on yourself and change. You are strong and doing so much to help so many in trading. You are amazing. You are an amazing, strong person, Leah. So grateful for you, Leah. You're an amazing example for everyone around you. And you inspire me to be a better person every single day. Sending hugs to you. Thank you for being so open with us today and sharing your life's journey. You are a beautiful, valuable, and phenomenal person. Thank you for sharing a part of your story, Leah. You clearly are a very kind, loving, thoughtful, and selfless woman who is ready to live out the greatness that's been inside her all this time. I couldn't agree more with all of these. Leah, you're so strong. You've got this. Thank you, Leah. You shared your story and your heart so powerfully. Your kindness shines through your voice. Jake and Leah, that was really beautiful. Thank you. Leah, you really are amazing. And Jake, just special at what you offer. Thank you, Leah and Jake. This has been incredible for me. Thank you, Leah. You are very brave. I'm glad to know you and look forward to working with you. Thanks. So obviously lots of appreciation for you there, Leah. As many people have said, you are a beautiful human with great potential and a lovely big smile and a big heart. So you keep doing what you're doing. And I'm sure you keep up with this drive and, this personal growth, and you'll have masses of women following in your footsteps and having the ability to help them feel valued and belong just like you'd like to, and hopefully spend a lot more of that quality time with your family. Alrighty, that is it for us today. Thank you so much again, Leah. I really appreciate you sharing. It's been an awesome session. It's been a wonderful week. We'll be back on Monday. For anyone who's trading, I'll see you on the trading call right now. For anyone else that's listening, we'll see you on Monday. And have an amazing, amazing weekend. I know I will. And we shall see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.